You can always just disintegrate me with water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah! Hello, you guys. Happy almost Halloween. We're what, a little over halfway through the month. This is my costume. Do you guys like? I dressed up as my anxious twin. Welcome back, you guys, to another video on this channel. Second costume of this October. Second costume and last, because, well, I didn't buy anything for the Corpse Bride costume. I kind of just like spontaneously did that makeup, but I did buy things for this costume. You know what? I've had this, me and my brother have had this for years though. I did not have to buy this. I feel so lucky and honored because I hear they don't even sell these no more. You can't get this at the grocery. Anyway, this will be the last look of October. I'm probably lying because I'm actually really creative. If you guys followed me on TikTok, especially last year, I'm always coming up with stuff. So if I come up with something else where I don't need to buy the pieces, maybe y'all will get another, costume. But as of right now, this is what I'm thinking. So today we are going to do story times, as you can read by the title. This video was low-key inspired by Bretman, the baddest rock. I've been watching him for years. I watch his podcast and I see how he's telling some of his personal stories or some of his viewer stories. And I thought of a couple stories in my life that definitely had that heart racing, had those goosebumping. So now I'm here to tell YouTube, okay? Story number one, the stalker. Why am I trying to give it a little title like it's like in a book or something? Okay. Once upon a time, this was like 2 years ago, right? I was working for this company. But I'm a girl. I don't play about my safety online, especially having like the little TikTok platform I have, or just any woman, like post after you leave, be careful, don't be telling people all your business. Like it's just common, stuff we do as women to keep us safe. So I was working this job and sometimes I would make TikToks, like a lot of times I make TikToks before work, right? And this job had a uniform, like they had a shirt that I would wear throughout the week. But again, as a woman, sometimes when I would make my TikToks or content in the shirt, I would always have it to where like the logo was covered up. Like I have my jacket over the logo or my hair over the logo, like something just so people don't like know where I work. Again, it's like I'm not like a celebrity, but it's just like to me, my parents are the type to be like, like they've just taught me certain tips, like we shred the address on things, like don't tell people this, don't tell people that. So that's just how I grew up and like I do it for my safety. I never once told my TikTok or any of my platforms I work for this company. Maybe I was like, I work doing this. Like, for instance, if someone's like, oh, yeah, I work at a restaurant, that gives you literally no information. There's so many restaurants. Do you work at fast food? Do you work at sit down? Do you work at a high? Like, are you a waiter? Are you like, there's so many rabbit holes, So I would say like information like that. At my job, I'll be doing this, whatever. So one day I'm working, right? I'm working and I have downtime. It was like the end of, how do I explain it? It was like I was still on a shift, but it was more so kind of like a company party type day. So we were like chilling. We could have our phones out more on this shift. And I remember I checked my phone at one point throughout this day, and I get this chilling ass message that made the goosebumps pop out, y'all. Why did I see I got a message from a number unsaved, new message, whatever. Why does the message read, we're just gonna call the company I used to work for Red. Um, OMG, you work for Red too? Question mark. I'm literally reading that like goosebumps. Like imagine getting a message like that from a number you don't have saved, new chat. I'm just like, who is this person and why do they know exactly where I work? And it wasn't even like too familiar, y'all, because it could be like, oh, someone in your past or a friend or something like that. Y'all, like, it didn't even have like any of the nearby area codes. It was a different area code from like, it was still a California area code, but it like was not close to here at all. So I'm just like, what is this? Like, I'm so creeped out because I'm like, one, who is this? I'm like, two, like they're saying it so casually. You work for Red too? Question mark. Like, who? I'm like, I also have extra nerves because that was right around the time of when I had just left my abusive boyfriend. But also, I was like, it's not him because I was like, I know the area code. I just had so many things running through my mind. And I think I was even showing one of my coworkers, and she's like, that's weird. You don't recognize the number. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, who is this? And why do they know where I work? Like, I'm so creeped out. The workday ends. Obviously, I don't do anything about it while I'm there. But of course, when I get home, I have two options. I can just block the number and act like this never happened, or I could be like, who who is this? Like, who is this for real? And so some reason I was feeling real curious that day, and I went with the um figure out who it is. Y'all, I don't know why I was feeling so bold back then. I feel like now I'd be a little bit more scurry and maybe like text or something. But I was straight up just like so confused. I was like, who is this saying they know exactly where I work? Like, what? So I'm like, I'm gonna just call them. I'm gonna just call them. So I get home. I like when I'm at. So I ponder on this for a little bit. Then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call them. So I press dial. It rings, and not what y'all expect. It didn't just go straight to voicemail or like no one answered. It answered, and I'm right. I didn't say anything because I just wanted to hear like who it is, and I just hear like a hello or yeah, and it's a guy's voice. I'm like, okay, it's not a guy. It's not a guy I recognize at all. I'm just like, I'm straight up. I'm like, who are you? Boop, boop, boop. Y'all, it's like when they asked to meet up on Catfish, hangs up in my face. I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm so confused because I'm like, that confused me even more. I'm like, okay, a guy answered, so it's a male. I was like, it's a voice that I do not recognize. And then they just hung up when I asked, who are they? Who, boy, who am I? Who are you? Why did you answer just to answer the phone just to not answer the question? So I'm just like, okay, y'all, why maybe like 10 minutes later, I get a text from said number, okay, who said, you work for Red too? Question mark. I'm like, I get a text from this mystery man. And the text read, my bad, this is Nate. We're going to call him Nate. I just saw you on TikTok and I seen you work there. I work there too. So again, my brain has to register. I'm like, Nate. I'm like, who is Nate? Like, I'm still confused. Y'all, and then I think about the area, I think about the name, and I'm like, wait, I know who this is, but why he still got my number? It clicked. The area code was where this boy told me he lived. And like the deleted, like not having a chat before, a lot of times when I'm over like messing with dudes or whatever, I delete the chat. Like, I don't need all that. Y'all, Nate is this guy. If you follow my story times, you're a real one. Maybe like 3 months ago, I made an online dating horror stories, and Nate was one of the stories. Nate was a guy who followed me and DM'd me from seeing me on TikTok Live, basically trying to get at me. We chatted it up. He said he lived like an hour away. He said he wanted to take me on a date and stuff. And then we got, like I said, where was boy's sense of stranger danger, like wanting to know anything about me, like besides just how I look? Because he had already asked me on a date, and then we had came to this conversation where he was talking about his schedule. He was talking about how he wakes up and reads the Bible every morning. I'm like, okay, well, this is probably a great time to tell you I'm not religious. Like, how do you feel about that? Y'all, why did he say, oh, I'm not sure if I should take you on the date? Nate, the guy who told me he didn't remember his body count and sleeps with his friends for fun on occasion because it's not that big a deal. It's not serious. It's just a fun activity. That's the man of God that judged me for being religious? Am I?
You bitch.
That Nate. I remember something about that conversation resulted in me just like leaving him on red and never speaking to him again. Y'all, we texted for like 10 days over a year ago because it was a boy I was texting before I was in my last relationship, which I told you that relationship breakup was fresh at the time of this story and it was a year. So it's like this is a boy I talked to, texted for like a week, 10 days, over a year ago. Still have my number talking about, "Oh, I saw you in the shirt on TikTok and I work there too." Why are men so weird? Literally, it's like, okay, you see your old talking stage, if you want to call it that, because we never met up, on your For You page, you recognize them and you recognize they work for the same company. This company had like different programs in different cities because, like I said, he lived like an hour away. So you see that and you think to go and text her that you work there too? Like, what? I'm sorry, how does that benefit you or me? Like, I'm so confused. Also, I'm not gonna say this is anything disloyal. It's just my opinions on the principle. It's something I wouldn't do or wouldn't want my man doing. And when I remember who this is, I left him on red. I never said anything after that because I was just weirded out. Like, okay, who cares? I look up his TikTok. There's a girlfriend. Well, not all over his TikTok, but I see as a girlfriend from his TikTok. I'm like, you're in a relationship. We texted for like a week. We haven't spoken over a year. Why are you texting me to say, "Oh my gosh, we're for the same company"? What? I'm sorry, like what does that do? Boy, literally had my heart racing for nothing, like for nothing. Anyway, so that was the first story, y'all. And now we're gonna get into the second one. We're gonna name the second one "It Woke Me Up at Night." Okay, I'm done playing with y'all. Y'all remember my story time of when they left me at the amusement park? I went to an amusement park with my Girl Scout, what you call it, troop, and they accidentally like forgot me at the park. Watch that story time if you haven't already. This is surrounding the same group, right? My troop leader was one of the girls' moms, and I was friends, obviously, with the daughter. But like y'all know how sometimes when you're in groups or troops, like yeah, you're all friends, but like her daughter was actually my friend. It was, I want to say, fifth grade, and she had a twin brother. I was friends with her. Her brother was more of an acquaintance, but he was still cool too. And my mom knew their mom, the family really well, obviously, because I was a Girl Scout leader. Because let me tell you, my mom didn't let me sleep over in nobody's house growing up. Like a select, she had to know the mom, meet the mom, like feel comfortable as she should. I remember being really annoyed with that as a kid. Like, why can't I just go to every sleepover like every other girl? But you grow up and you realize how evil people are. I thank her for protecting me, right? But this was different. This was my troop leader. She knew the lady, she knew the family, and the twins were having a birthday party. And they basically wanted to have like a big sleepover at their house. So, as I said, my mom is familiar with the mom. I've been to the house plenty of times. Like I said, she's my Girl Scout troop leader. So she says yes. She says that I can go. This was a really fun sleepover. Like they used to always have joint things because they were twins. Oh, not me talking about them when I'm dressed as Dipper and Mabel. It was literally giving Dipper and Mabel. Like, so I don't know. They were turning like 10, 11, and they wanted to have this giant sleepover. And I really liked their house, y'all. Their house was like a zoo. Like at this point in my life, y'all know Stitch, my golden retriever, and I grew up with a rabbit too. He passed away maybe like 4 years ago. But again, I had pets growing up, but I kind of got them later. Like I think I got my rabbit Peter when I was like 9, and then we got Stitch when I was like 10. Like y'all know how some people be like, "Oh, I've remembered my pet since I was a baby or since I was a toddler." You know, like I got them kind of as an older kid. So I used to love going to friends with pets houses, like had a dog, had a cat. I was always so hyped. Animals were always so drawn to me, y'all. I remember going to this side story. I remember going to this Girl Scout camp as a kid, or not camp, it was like a trip. And we were at like a shelter. And they were showing us like introducing us to like this trained shelter dog that lived there or whatever. And heavy on trained, y'all, heavy on trained. So they had him off the leash and stuff, and they told him like, go over to the girls so like they can pet you and stuff. Y'all, why did that dog run right up, jump on me, kiss me in the mouth? When there's a bunch of little girls in front of me to the side of me, he ran right up to me and kissed me in the mouth. That was so disgusting, but it was so cute. He was a cute dog. I don't know why, like I just feel like animals always do that to me. When I went with my sister to pick up her dog, not my dog, he did the same thing. Like he just ran and straight got me in the mouth. I don't know what that was about. But anyways, I was excited for the sleepover. That y'all, they had like three dogs, two cats, two bunnies, a hamster. It was gonna be fun. I mean, I was excited because it was their birthday too. All right, remember how many freaking animals I just told y'all they had. So like I said, they were twins. They all invited like a lot of their friends. Trust me, it was like a big house. It was like a 3 to 4 bedroom house, 2 stories, so they had space, but obviously it's like 10 kids, maybe 8 kids in a house, and then just the mom. So we sleeping arrangements where, like some of them slept in the girl twins room, a couple slept in the boys twins room, but upstairs, like outside the room, they had like a loft. Is it called a loft? Just when there's like a big open area where all the hamster cages are and stuff like that. So I slept there. Like I slept out there with a couple other kids, but I don't think I was really by like any of my friends. So we do all the pizza, all the movies, all the cake, and then it's time to go to bed. So I take my little orange sleeping bag to we just gonna call it the loft. Y'all imagine let me set the scene. Imagine you walk right up some stairs and it's just an open area and the rooms are in like a hallway to the left, a hallway to the right. Like it's just open space and like a rabbit cage up there, a hamster cage up there, whatever. So I fall asleep, right? I fall asleep at the sleepover in my sleeping bag. I'm sleeping on the floor, mind you. I don't know, they didn't leave any lights on for us or nothing, okay? This happens to me a lot at sleepovers, y'all. I hate it. I like almost always I feel like wake up at sleepovers. Not if it's somewhere I've slept over a lot. Actually, it just depends. A lot of times I like wake up during a sleepover in the middle of the night. I wonder where I am. And then I remember where I am and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, I eventually fall asleep." Y'all, I wake up, it's pitch black. Y'all know how like when you're awake in the dark, you kind of have like some visions. You can see shadows and stuff like that. But like when you first wake up, or when the lights first go off, you can't really see like that. So I wake up and I'm just like, okay, this is normal. This happens. When you're at a sleepover, you check to see if anybody else is awake or anything. It seemed like everyone else was asleep. At that point, I didn't realize why I woke up, but I remembered very quickly. I wake up, I'm just like staring at the dark ceiling. Y'all, know, why do I feel a tug at my head, at my hair. Like it feels like something just lightly tugged on my hair. And like I'm laying on my back and imagine my hair because I remember I had box braids. Imagine like my hair is like here, it's like out behind me and I feel like a tug kind of like above my head. As anyone else, of course I'm just like, "Oh hell no." We just gonna pretend like we didn't feel that. We just gonna pretend like we didn't feel that. Like y'all know we're kids. If like another kid had woken up and do that, you would hear like a little you would hear, wearing sleeping bags, you would hear like the I'm like, what was that? I'm like, I'm just I just lay straight on my back. I'm like, we're just gonna ignore that until I fall back asleep. Because I'm not looking above my head. I'm not looking above my head about to come face to face with a demon. Y'all, I feel it again. I feel it again. I refuse to look again. But y'all, then I start to realize I'm like, it's giving rhythm. Like it's not like someone just it's giving like tug, tug, tug. 3 seconds later, tug. And I'm just like, okay, like it's getting like to where it didn't happen like 4 times, y'all. Like I gotta face my fears. So y'all, like I said, when I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes now, the night vision starts to set in, okay? I can see his shadows and like I can see the moonlight coming from the like so I'm like, okay, what like now I'm starting to get annoyed. Like, Ghost, did you cool? Like what? So I'm like, all right, let me roll over, sit up, and see what's tugging in my hair. So y'all, I get up, I roll over. Why am I face to face with a cat? I told y'all this girl had like 3 dogs, 2 cats, 2 rabbits, a hamster, and I've never had a cat in my life. To this day, I don't know. Cats scare like I think they're so cute. I don't know if I'd ever want them though. They're just so unpredictable. I'm like, do you hate me or do you love me? Like I don't know. So I'm not really used to cats, even though I would still think they're cute. I look up, y'all. It's the damn cat playing in my box braids. She just having a field day. She, girl, is this a toy? Y'all, I thought I was going to come face to face with an entity. Whole time it's just the cat playing in my box braids, having a field day. Pounce, pounce, throwing it around. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, okay. So I just pull all my hair like to my shoulders so it's not just out like that. Y'all, I think the cat eventually leaves. My ass falls back asleep. And yeah, that was the story time of it woke me up in the middle of the night. Yeah, you guys, those are my 2 little spooky story times I have for the day. I think these are pretty good because it gave heart race in both of these just for it to be like, oh. And I'd like to keep my life that way. I don't want ever want to have to come up here and tell y'all some real life. No, no, no. Return to sender. Rebuke that energy, ho. Cause we not. You see my costume. You see my costume. I keep it. I keep it G over here. Ain't no. I'm not watching The Exorcist, Annabelle, none of that for Halloween. I'm watching Coraline. I'm watching Monster House. Keep all that other energy away from me. Hey, you guys, thank you for listening and making it to the end of this video. Let me know if you have some spooky stories that you want to share. I just said I'm scary and I don't be dealing with that energy, but I'm nosy and I'd love to read them. Because I do like hearing stories like that to an extent. I can't hear that all the time because then I'm asleep with the light on. But let me know, y'all. Or let me know what you think about my stories. Okay. Thank you for listening to me yap. I hope you guys like the costume. Check out my content on my Instagram and my TikTok in this fit. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.